One of my hometown friends had a pretty small tree in his yard that he was working on cutting down. He had hit it a bunch of times with an axe, figured out it's a whole lot harder to bring a tree down than people make it look in TV shows and movies. And, we were high schoolers at the time. But had his parents' permission to do it. It was a tree they kind of needed to get rid of anyway. He just wanted to try bringing down a tree. And this is a time of year when a lot of people have a tree in their household that they or somebody else has cut down. And the thing I want to bring up about that is that when it comes to knocking down a tree, which again is a whole lot harder than they make it look, it takes a lot of swings of the axe. If someone goes out there and tries to bring down a tree with a single, swing of the axe, and then finds that they didn't do it on a single swing, they could tell themselves a story that they're not very good at it. They could tell themselves that they didn't swing hard enough, that they didn't get lucky, that they picked too big a tree. When the reality is, bringing down any tree, unless it's basically a twig, is going to take a lot of hits. Right? I mean, it's quite literally kind of the expression of chipping away at a big problem. And I think what a lot of folks overlook when they're thinking about their pathway, creatively, professionally, and otherwise, is seeing too much of the tree fall when someone else's tree falls down without as much focus on the chipping away at it. That's where that process comes from. And it's never a single project. It's never a single attempt. It's never a first outing. It's never a, one time they do it. Or if they do, then that's such a rare event, it's newsworthy. The reality for everybody else, and most of the time, and in all probability, and with any sort of reliable ability to be repeated, it's going to come from attempt after attempt after attempt. And it may sometimes feel like we're not even seeing much progress because the tree still hasn't fallen yet. But if you think about it, when you're bringing down a tree, hitting it with an axe, it's not like it goes from upright to each time you're hitting it, it's tilting a little bit more over until, like the hands on a clock, it's eventually laying on its side. It's still upright until it's not. But the progress is still gradual. Project by project, by attempt after attempt. And if you look closely, you can see that each time you are getting a little closer. You are getting a little further. You are making more of a dent. And again, I'm grateful I had this example of my hometown friend who distinctly remember. Both of us kind of looked at the tree and thought, high school kids, guys especially, tend to have a confidence that, you just take an axe, just bam, like a baseball bat, and it's just going to go over. But no, they're tough. It takes a lot of hits. And, you could sit there just wailing on it for a while and still not feel like you'd made any progress. And I don't know if it was cold air. I don't know if it was the type of wood it was. I don't know if axe might have been dull. It's a story for another day. About sharpening the axe. You might have even heard that example. I think Stephen Covey popularized it. But, obviously, if you're not swinging at it, you're not making any progress, and it's not going to fall over. And if you are swinging at it, even if the progress isn't evident immediately, even if the progress is subtle, you are making progress. Attempt after attempt, project after project, prototype after prototype, whatever it is, chipping away at it. And it won't work until it does. And that's just sort of how anybody gets theirs to fall over from taking all those chips at it. That's all for the day. Not a whole lot more to it. Just thinking about our problem spaces. I say creatively, business-wise, maybe in our social interactions or otherwise, that it's always a matter of we're either chipping away at it, we're either making incremental attempts to gradually move ourselves forward on the progress until it pays off, or we're not. And it's going to stay in exactly the same state as it was the day before. That's it for the day. Thanks for always tuning in. Have another video for y'all tomorrow.